Even see myself. I don't know if I can see myself, but that's okay. Yeah, I think I can see myself. Um, Hi, you guys. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I am facing right now, and that is the spirit of confusion. Okay, um, and I have heard, because this is Facebook, and Facebook's been out, and a lot of people have been talking for years and things like that. But I'm gonna say, for me, I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this and focus on this a lot. It's nothing that you should be super afraid of. But one thing that I've learned through the spirit of confusion, it goes hand in hand with the Ahab and the Jezebel spirit, all of that, because that's how confusion is the way to get to separate, to bring division, to bring a divide, to bring, um, to bring in chaos, things like that. Um, but if you stand up to confusion, meaning go through the test and the trial, whatever it is, in the right manner, you will learn so much out of it. Um, Case point, there was one time I had, um, well, I had to relocate. So when I relocated from one place, I relocated to a lot of places, but anyhow, I relocated to one place. Now I knew that God had put me in that spot. Things were very, very hard when I was dealing with the spirit of confusion. People were not hearing me correctly. I would get into arguments. It was just so bad. And sometimes it makes you feel isolated, because that's what the spirit of confusion does. Brings chaos, separation, isolation, things like that. Um, One thing that I didn't do, which I thought at the time I should have done, but I just felt so bad, and I was like, God put me here, is that I didn't move. I kept going. Because of that, I was rewarded, and not only that, I had the experience of knowing that if I stay through something and I work something out, even though it doesn't look right, chances are I'm going to get what I need. Chances are I'm going to get what I desire, you know. Yeah. Another example without dealing with me is when you are, say for instance, you are uh excuse me, you are someone who is usually a class clown or something like that, right? And you decide that, okay, I'm going to focus, and I'm going to be a studious person, and before that you weren't, right? And you keep going, people are talking about you, they're saying all bad kind of things, you're losing friends. The people that you used to hang out with and the people you used to clown with are now rejecting you because you're doing something different. Now, if you turn away, and because that is the spirit of confusion, if you turn away from it and go back to what you were doing before, you never go and you see the outcome or your reward of what you were doing, of what you were trying to obtain. However, if you go through the process, your brain gets, sharper. You're working on yourself. You're reading more. You're being studious. You're going around people who are studious. So iron sharpens iron. You're getting better. You're getting more knowledge. You're getting experience, and eventually you will reach your goal. Not to say that you might not reach it in the amount of time that you feel that you should, but eventually, if you keep going, you will do that, and it builds up your confidence, because you know for personal experience that you have what it takes to do what you set out to do. So now you're creating higher and higher goals to do it. So um it's one thing to have the spirit of confusion, but when you come across it, my biggest suggestion is to face it head on. Meaning keep going, keep going. It's something outside. There's something that's on the other side of that confusion. You know, we determine our outcomes, but we don't always determine the situations. But we do have an input as how our outputs come in. Oh, excuse me. Um, Another thing that I learned from the spirit of confusion when the spirit of confusion comes about you, they always, I told you about how it makes you want to jump and you want to run and you want to go to and do different things. It will create a sense of fear for you to go into another direction that you usually wouldn't go into. But once you go into that direction, you're thinking that it's over. But as soon as you get to another high point in that life, in that cycle or whatever phase decision that you made, that spirit of confusion is going to come back. And then you're going to want to do that cycle all over again, because the spirit of confusion wants you to stay in the same situation, in the same gap, stay in the same position that you were before, to always start over. And that, we know that's not of God. You're always supposed to be progressing day after day after day after day after day. You're not always supposed to start at square one. Another thing is that it leads to poverty. Because you're starting over, the spirit of confusion will make you start over. It will lead you to a spirit of poverty, meaning that, okay, we got that. Sorry about that. The spirit of confusion will come with a spirit of poverty, because you always want to start over. You always want to reset. You always want to move and relocate. It's going to take money to do that. You lose a lot of relationships when you're ending relationships. You want to start over. You're cutting off, relationships. That could be future bonds, or that might have ties to your destiny, to the next phase in your life. What else? I've had this happen. This is why I'm saying what I'm saying. What else? Shoot. There we go. I can see myself now. The spirit of confusion in my life, it would get me nervous. It would make me feel like my triggers, like things that. Okay. All right. Everything wants to show up now. That's another thing. Spirit of confusion will take your mind off of things really quick. You'll have a lot of distractions if you're dealing with this. And we have a lot of distractions in our everyday life anyway. Dealing with electronics, dealing with our social media, television, all those things, those gadgets. Mine's is mostly work this way, and alerts, work. But you'll start seeing that just in the moment of you getting to the peak of something, or you're trying to get to a key point or something. Shoot. As you can see, I was relaxing. Looks really nice back there with the little skyline or whatever. But I just wanted to put that out there about the spirit of confusion, because I noticed that very quickly. I was like, what is going on? Like, this is the moment of my breakthrough, but it's like confusion. And it was like a spirit of confusion, meaning with me, I'm going to tell you my personal experience of what's happening now. When I went to work, it was so much chaos. Everything that I would say, people would interpret it a different way. Even if I put it out word from word, it will be interpreted. It will be changed into something different. So that's one issue. With that, and I'm telling you, some people would try you with this. Some people will be, will send a spirit of confusion, and then, meaning that, sometimes it might be actually sending the spirit of confusion. But when I say sending spirit of confusion, what I mean is that there are people, and I have people at my job right now, who will plot against other people for their downfall. They will set them up. If they can't set them up for things that they do, they will set them up to the point where they know that they will react a certain way if they bring something up that triggers them, to make them look irrational or deranged, and make them look like they're not able to do what they're supposed to do. And when you have that, you have to catch yourself, grasp yourself, take a step back, and then after that, recap yourself, regain your stability, regain your focus, and then go about it. Go about it in a calm demeanor, to oh, excuse me, go about it in a calm demeanor as how you deal with the situation. If you do not, you could lose your job. You know, um, you could come off looking kind of crazy, which you will if you do it the other way. If you know, even if you're reacting right, you know, even if they done something wrong, do not react in the way that they want you. They're trying to trigger you. Don't react to it. Take a step back, regather your thoughts and everything else, and you go about it in a professional manner. Now, I know as me, as being a believer, you know, I'm going to take everything into the world of the spiritual realm. I'm going to take it to my Father and ask him to figure it out on my behalf, what is going on, you know, and what do I need to do, you know, and ask him to solve it. Um Other people, depending on what belief system, you know, some people do something similar and some people don't do anything at all. It's up to you. But I know for myself, people will do this to you. People will set you up, you know. What else? Spirit of confusion. Spirit of confusion will come if you're losing something. This is a definite sign. If you're having all of these coming like boom, 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 like you don't know what's going on, all these kind of attacks, you put something down, you know, you put it in one spot and it just moved, or it's not there and no one else is moved. Listen, spirit of confusion. Okay. You're not going nuts. I even had one time where I stuck tape onto a wall where the keys are at, you know, or stuck it on a table so it won't drop, you know, to the way where it can't drop, and then come back to see that it's not there. That is a good indication that you either have some kind of familiar monitoring spirit or a spirit of confusion. And like I said, these things, they work hand in hand. When we're in this, and we're in this age of, you know, well, I won't even get into that situation, but these things go hand in hand. Um and then all of a sudden you'll find it and it'll be back in the, after you listen, this is when you know it's not a person, it's a spirit of confusion. If you put something down and you know you stuck it somewhere, and I mean you stuck it to where it couldn't fall, it couldn't turn, it couldn't do anything, no one else is touching, no one's in your house, no one's in that area or anything like that, and you come back and it's right back there, yeah, it's trying to take your time. It's trying to take your time because the enemy knows that when you're going into the promised land, if you stayed the course and you ran the race, you are entitled, and God positioned you in a place, you are entitled to get what you're supposed to get. That's just like the people at your job. If you're doing a good job, of course the employees are going, your bosses are going to see that. They're going to see certain things about you, and it's going to bring out good characteristics about you, you know. Oh, excuse me. And someone who is operating out of a spirit of confusion can um is going to try to challenge that and try to make it look the opposite way. You know, they might can't deal with sabotaging your job by, you know, taking the credit for what you put out, or um stealing your ideas and that's not working, or um making false accusations about you. But yeah, what they can do is stir you up, you know. They can do is stir you up, you know, and try to get you off of your game by saying something, messing with your self-esteem, just trying to get inside your head. You know, I didn't really think there were people that were like that in my adult life. You know, you knew that as a child, but I just thought eventually you will work on these people. Everyone works on themselves and they become better. That's not the case, you know. I have learned that not only with my career, but just living long enough to see that there are people who don't do that. They don't do that. They don't do that. I said they don't do that. They don't do that. Okay. They're still in their child mode. They never took the time to self-develop. Clearly they're adults. Clearly, they look like adults, but mentally and emotionally they are the size of, they're mentally the age of a 11-year-old or a 12-year-old or 7-year-old. So they're going to come for you, and they can't step to you at your level because you worked on yourself, but they are going to try to pinpoint the things that you are weak at, and these people are talented at doing that. So um yeah. But like I said, if you keep working on yourself and you keep just showing up, all you have to do is show up. Show up and do what you need to do. Don't move from place to place. Don't move from thing to thing. I remember when God was telling me to move and to do this, and I had so much lash and things going back, and I'm like, I might as well go back and do this. Every time I would turn back, things got worse. But when I moved for it still got worse because I had to start over, but it got better. And as I kept going, it got better. As I kept going, it got better. Do not turn back. Do not turn back, okay? The spirit of confusion wants you to turn back, because if you turn back, you're going to have to start all over. If you guys are on the people who are on their fast and people who are, getting to know themselves a lot better, do not turn back just because it looks like, you're looking on Facebook, you're working on yourself, and you're going through this whole shifting process, and you're seeing people, you're seeing yourself looking different, and you're changing and you're liking yourself, but then you look at other people and you're saying, okay, well, when I was this way, they were talking about me, but look at this person. I kind of missed that. And you don't go back. Remember all the work that you put into it. Remember all the work that you put into changing. Remember all the work that you did, and truth be told, most of the people who act like they're happy are not. Most of the people who act like they just have it going on don't. Because if you're acting and you're putting on as if got it going on, usually those people, I've learned, those people are usually the private ones. They don't care if you see or not. They kind of rather you not see, but if you do, then oh well. What else? So yeah. Um, that's my view on the spirit of confusion. Hopefully you guys took something from that and learned from it, and if you come across this is one main indication that you're getting closer to what you're supposed to do. You're getting closer. It gets harder as you get higher. It gets harder. So, yeah. Hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem, and thank you guys so very much. Bye.